In a world full of movie podcasts, here is one more. Welcome to Defend Your Movie with Sean Donnelly
and Andrew Fiore.
The time has come again. The champion must stand. It can only be one of us. Victoria! So stand up and fight, my friend. There's a title you must defend. Shut it on and on. Bring it to me. Defend your movie.
Hello, Defenders, and welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast, Defend Your Movie. I am one of your co-hosts, Andrew Fiore, along with my lovable, laughable, huggable co-host, Mr. Sean Donnelly.
That's right, I'm here. I like with the confidence that you said your favorite podcast.
Absolutely. The Defenders are with us, man.
You know what, I'll tell you, we took off a week, and we're sorry that we lapsed on you, but we don't have access to our friend's Alex's studio anymore.
They
so
keep up. Sure, the Defenders, they know.
They know all about it.
I was, to be fair, I was away on vacation. You know, I need a little me time.
Yes, that's right, Andy did go away. And also, I will say this, the Seinfeld episode, a rousing success.
Rousing success, and we should thank the fans for letting us kind of
Go
digress
off
from
topic.
our normal defending of
Yes.
movies. But as Sean said, the way it worked out was kind of crazy too, because if you don't know the full story, 2 weeks ago we did the tribute to Seinfeld episode as our producer Alex's last show. It was his personal request.
Yes.
So we got our buddy Mark Norman, very funny comic, and also Seinfeld File.
Yes.
Die Hard with us.
Hardcore.
And the episode came out on that Friday. I believe it was July 5th. And that night was Jerry Seinfeld night at Shea Stadium, at Citi Field, sorry. Celebrating the 30th anniversary.
And something crazy happened.
We didn't plan that. It just was a coincidence that it coincided with the 30th anniversary.
And we also didn't plan that Jerry Seinfeld, off the cuff, they asked him, who's the comic to look out for right now? And he said, Mark Norman.
Yeah, Jerry's in the booth with the play-by-play announcers, and they're going over. It was Jerry Bobblehead night.
Yes.
And they go, it was a young guy to look at. And yeah, he said, our guest on the show that we did about Seinfeld.
Yeah, 2 days prior.
It was like a Seinfeld episode, all of it coming together at once.
It was crazy. But also, what an honor. What an honor.
Oh, yes. I mean,
a lot of people heard it. Just the fact that Seinfeld said it in public, because I know.
I think Lou Witzke was watching the game live. I had a lot of people who were like, I was watching the game and flipped out.
It's crazy because not too far before that, I was at Gotham when Seinfeld showed up, hung out with Mark for a while, and was like, really took a liking to him. So
Yeah.
they're kind of friends now, I think. I don't know, they're comedy buddies or whatever you want to call it. I think Norman's freaking out about it. I think he loves the idea. He talked to us about it. It's also makes a lot of sense. If you know Norman, you know his comedy. You know Seinfeld, you know his comedy.
Yep.
It makes a lot of sense. And Norman deserves it. He's a hard worker. He's
great joke writer.
And loves
knows
the art.
comedy.
Yeah.
Loves,
And
appreciative.
And he absolutely, I can only imagine how he felt. I feel like that's validation. I don't know. I feel like that'd be the same thing as doing, I don't know, Carson.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like you have a guy like that's from that era, the guy that people hail as probably, if not the most famous stand-up. We're just talking about stand-up.
Yeah.
The world of stand-up is different than show business.
I mean, the greatest sitcom of all time.
Star. Yeah, exactly.
Shouted you out.
Exactly.
Great honor, and it's our pal.
I'd probably jump off a building if it happened. I'd be like, that's it. How do we top this? What, am I going to have kids?
I mean, yeah, it's like meeting a Beatle and then having the Beatle be like, oh yeah, that guy's a great musician.
Yes!
Keep an eye out for him.
You can't have kids after that. The kids will be like, am I the best thing that happened to you? I'm like, well, Seinfeld once said that I was a great comic. So you're a close second.
Does Mark have to be a Mets fan now?
I don't know.
Because he's from New Orleans. He doesn't really have a baseball team. He's not a big sports guy, but...
He's not a big sports guy, I don't think, but he should be, just for the sake of cozying up to frickin' Seinfeld somewhere.
So, well, thanks to everybody for listening to that podcast, and so many responses. People are still writing to us on Twitter, quoting things, which I love. Me and Sean are always good. We'll always write you back, usually.
Yeah.
And we appreciate the love that episode got, and we'll definitely do another one with Mark. We were all hanging out the one night, and all three of us were like, we know we forgot so much. watch.
We forgot a ton.
We did.
We forgot a ton.
And we'll do another, 6 months down the line, we'll get Mark back in. We'll do a part 2 with all the stuff we've missed. And I'm sure we can do a part 3 and 4 with all the stuff.
We'll try to grab Joe List for it, too, because that's our other buddy.
Yeah.
That is a psycho. So that I was really happy with how that episode did.
Yeah, so go back and listen with Mark, and, congratulations.
And if you know the podcast, we do one. The reason we did it is because we're all so crazy about it, including Alex. And we do one reference per show, like that's Seinfeld, and we just can't help ourselves. So yeah, so that's awesome for Mark, and that's awesome for us because we know we can do more of those, and they'll do.
Yeah,
and nobody's gonna get mad
at us. It's a nice break from the norm.
It's a nice break from the norm. Yeah, exactly. So this week, before we get to this week, you saw a movie. You told me
I saw Midsommar.
Oh Jesus, dude! Here's the thing, man.
I know you weren't going to see it.
I am a pussy.
I know.
When it comes to this stuff, I don't know. I don't think people like to admit they're not horror movie fans. And I read what this thing's about. I know I get freaked out. This is the type of movie. Now, I'm going to give you my impression because I'm not going to see it. So you can say whatever you want. There's spoilers ahead. Say whatever.
I won't spoil it for anybody.
I want to hear your opinion of it because I heard it's one of those movies that stays with you for a week.
Yeah, it is. And that is the way.
It's just insane imagery, creepy subject matter, right? Is that basically how it sums it up? Because I heard everybody's it's not like a jump out of the closet, boo, scare you movie.
No, and I knew that going in, which, to be honest, I was a little disappointed. For those of you who don't know, Ari Aster, this is his second movie. His first was Hereditary,
which everybody called the scariest movie in the world.
Which I loved. I adored it. It was a thriller. It was suspenseful. It was beautifully acted. It was really well shot. It hit all the horror tropes. She should have been nominated for that. And I was really excited for his follow-up movie, which you're always worried about when a first-time director knocks it out of the park.
Well, there's right. Because there can be a sophomore jinx. Yeah, exactly.
And I don't want to say this was
better.
I don't think it was better, in my personal opinion. I was talking to a couple of the guys at work, and they loved it more than Hereditary. But this one is a slow burn and a unsettling feeling you have the whole time where you're just going, oh, come on, what is going to happen? Come on, no, don't do that. It's one of those. It's not a spooky.
I heard that.
It's not frights, like jumps coming around every corner. It's that shining, unsettling where you just go. It's that slow pace and the build
that you kind of know it's coming up, but you're like, are they really going to do this?
And it's super trippy. He really invokes what it's like. They eat mushrooms a few times and they drink mushroom tea in the movie, and that sounds like a kind of a corny, thing that movies have really failed at in the past. It's very stereotypical, hippie.
Yeah, we're high, man.
They really kind of get it. Almost 100% accurate what a mushroom trip like that can be.
Really?
And incorporate it and shoot it very well, too. The visuals.
It's not just psychedelic Paisley film stock, man.
It's very accurate in that regard. And there are some scary-ass scenes in it, and when the horror comes, it's horrific. It's not gory, but when it is, it's graphic as fuck.
Yeah,
it's GAF, baby.
I heard about one part.
It's that
with a certain dive,
it's look away type stuff where you just go, I don't need that in my psyche. I don't need to close my eyes tonight and have that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So
that's what I don't want. That's why I never watch Human Centipede. Because everybody's like, Human Centipede's not that bad. I'm like, I don't want that to be in my drawer in my head, in my brain picture vocabulary. My brain picture vocabulary. You know what I mean?
My brain flashcards.
Yeah, I don't want that to be. I don't want to drudge that up when somebody reminds me.
Exactly.
I don't want to see a centipede on the ground like that goes in my brain.
I can picture it right now while we're talking, and I'm going, jeez, Louise.
Yeah, exactly. You know what it is? It hardens you as a person.
Yeah.
It makes you more cynical.
You get desensitized.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
And I don't want that.
No.
We're sweet guys.
I know. I want to stay sweet.
Right. And comedy has already jaded me enough.
Exactly.
I
want to let's stay as huggable as possible. I'm already bitter 45% of the time.
55.
55.
That's a good ratio.
Not bad, not bad.
So yeah, I saw Midsummer on my break. I thought I was going to watch a few more. I have a few things in the queue, maybe for next week. Watch Stranger Things 3. Finally finished that.
And what'd you think?
I loved it.
I know it's on the TV show. Let's talk about it quick.
Well, I only bring it up. I know it's a TV show because I wanted to make a movie reference toward it.
Oh, okay. Because they pull from a lot of movies.
Yeah, you finished it?
I finished it.
Okay.
I loved it.
Loved it. Loved the third season. They completely dropped that one storyline of number 8, which I loved. They didn't even go back to it.
Oh, when she ran away?
Yeah, to Chicago.
Yeah,
it's like, I don't even remember that. It's like they completely
nobody liked it.
Yeah,
nobody liked that
liked
episode, no.
I thought it was great. The gang was back together, but in certain aspects. It was really fun.
It did it for me, and we're close in age enough. I don't know if it rings out true for you. The mall aspect.
Absolutely. This is what I was going to get to.
Oh, okay.
The mall.
The mall aspect, it just got me right. It got me. I love it. I used to love going to the mall as a kid.
Because this is what, 85?
85.
Yeah,
so I was 7.
I was, 6.
Yeah. So that's like when you start going to the movies, when you start
just creeping around the movies too, sneaking back and forth.
Exactly. So it's like this thing where even when I was like 8 and 9, whatever it was, I would go movie hopping like that. We would go to a movie and then go across.
Ice cream, skateboarding, the public pool. That was the public pool I went to growing up. That was a mirror image of what I did in the summer. My mom would sit there with her other friends, read a book. We'd go off swimming.
Yep.
Picture perfect.
The Burger King, the way Burger King logo was back then. That just because then you think of how chicken tenders, the chicken things used to be. And like the fries, it just was.
They really did a great job of that stuff.
They nailed it.
And
also they still do a great job of all the things they kept as a part of like season 1. So like season 1 was still better than this, I think, because it was like so original when that came out. And they nailed 83, and now they nailed 85. They're doing it. They're doing the nostalgia year by year.
The Cold War stuff and the Rush. I mean, it was great.
Hilarious.
It was awesome.
Oh, it's like from every movie from back then.
It was really great.
At one point, what's his name? The one that used to be the cool guy, Steve.
Yeah, Steve Harrington.
He calls the other kid with new teeth. He goes him pea brain at one point. Like that's what I'm saying. Like they use language from like how they would have kids talk back then. It's like this weird like thing that's not how they write movies anymore when they're when the kids are talking to kids. Like it's like pea brain or whatever, like stuff that's very 80s. It's very like very.
Although
80s.
I will, can Netflix? Can you stop fucking bowing down to the PC police? I heard they were going to take the smoking out of it.
Oh really?
Yeah, like they're going to edit. No, they're going to. It's like, okay, fine. You've also got like horrific monsters with doing mean things to children. It's just fucking leave it alone. People smoked in that time.
They're also molesting the kids.
Yeah,
they're coming really close.
People smoked a lot. Just let it be historically accurate without you having to fucking worry about soccer moms.
So some celebrity came out and spoke out against how David Harbour's character, the sheriff, treats Winona Ryder. He's like the toxic masculinity.
Oh,
I'm like,
please.
It's a
if anything,
throwback.
Not only that, but it was more like an old married couple fighting. It wasn't like he was hitting her. He wasn't talking her down.
No, it's also a thing where it's like
you got to build up that tension before they can have that moment at the end.
Is there Sam and Diane situation?
I don't think Hopper's dead. By the way, I think a lot of people think he's.
I don't. Oh, okay. So
don't touch the Americans. Sorry, should have said spoiler.
Should have said spoiler.
Reverse spoiler.
No, we're going to say spoilers right now. So turn it off for a minute and a half right now. No, I don't think he's dead either.
Yeah,
Hopper,
to survive that blast.
I think you know how he did, because they showed you there. He hopped over the fence, and there was a door right there that he could have ran into,
Gotcha.
and then maybe he hopped over, got captured.
But I'm okay with him dying too. Like I hate when shows just for nostalgia reasons don't kill characters. I'm happy when characters can get killed off. If they didn't
have such an amazing ending for his like when you're supposed to think that he's dead.
Yeah.
That was such an amazing letter thing with her reading the letter.
I know.
He should have died.
Exactly.
And that's too much of a. If they left it ambiguous, you would have known.
Well, I think that the big hint is the post-credits, the final scene where they go, "No, not the American."
The American.
And you don't see.
Now, could that be Brett Gelman?
Could be.
But why would we care about that? Well, we would care about that. But
who was great in it, by the way?
He's awesome in it. All right, so let's get to the main.
The whole thing I wanted to is the Back to the Future, your bracket winner.
Yes, all-time favorite.
In it, and a very cool Easter egg. When they were flashing by the marquee, they showed one of the movies that was playing was The Stuff, which is a movie that Zach Amico from Zach Amico's Midnight Spook Show podcast, very hilarious podcast, big horror movie buff, had me on, and we watched that movie, which is all about goo that becomes alive and takes over people's bodies.
Oh, really?
Great, like, reference for this season of Stranger Things
for what it is.
To like an 80s B movie of that era. I was like, the stuff, great.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Because it's like a goo that literally like comes in through your mouth and fucking takes over your body. Cool Easter eggs. They do like fun stuff like that with the Duffer Brothers.
It's awesome. They're awesome what they do. The show's amazing. I'm excited for the 4th season. I don't see how they screwed it up. A friend of ours was a comic. I won't say who it is, but online he was like, "You don't like Stranger Things." Like online, he's telling people, "You just like the nostalgia." I'm like, "What's wrong with just liking the nostalgia?"
Yeah.
That's why I don't see a problem.
I have my issues with some of it, this season too.
Sure,
but it's like,
of course.
Can you enjoy something?
I just enjoy it to enjoy it. Yeah, exactly.
People just like professional complainers.
People are out of their minds. The only thing that I watched is I watched the beginning of a documentary that I haven't finished yet, so maybe I shouldn't talk about it. That was Hello, I Love You, Now Die or something like that.
It's
the HBO about that girl. Now, people told me about this documentary, and they said, "Oh, you see both sides of that girl who encouraged her boyfriend, her teen boyfriend,
I knew
to commit suicide."
Correct.
From what I've seen so far, I don't see how you can see both sides.
Okay,
it doesn't matter. From what she's texted him so far,
I remember
there's no way she's not a sociopath. This girl.
Yeah, I remember reading the transcripts of her texting him and just being like, "You fucking cunt."
Yeah, there's no way that it's misconstrued. Terrible person.
Yeah,
but. Maybe not knowing she's a terrible person, maybe having that no remorse
it's a good legal
thing.
defense.
Yeah, it is, because I'm sure that's what happened.
Right.
Because I think there's probably...
That's good storytelling.
I think the reveal is going to be, because she'll talk about how much she loves him, and then it's a believable thing, but she has a twisted idea of what it is. Like, and I'm just the portion of text that I've seen on this documentary, I'm like... Oh no, you're a psychopath. Like,
right.
At one point, the kid was going to leave the car. She convinced him to go back in. Like, that to me, that's beyond. That's beyond.
Yeah.
There's no. That's just you have a twisted set of morals at that point.
Sure.
Anyway, so that's the only other thing I watched. And then I don't know if we've been back since I saw Spider-Man. Were we back?
No, because you went to see it that day before. Yes, correct.
Loved it.
Far From Home.
Did you see it?
I didn't see it yet. I'm gonna go. It's on my queue.
It's great. Apparently I read a thing afterwards that this is the one that this phase 3 of these Marvel movies. This ends it. It wasn't Endgame.
Okay.
This ends it. So now after this starts the whole new rigmarole as far as like who's going to be the Iron Man role, who's going to do this, who's going to do that. I think it was a cool take on the ending. That's what I applaud these movies for, is that they always, even if some things are similar, they always seem to like the resolution is always a little bit different, or like how they take care of stuff, or there's a twist to this. A lot of people knew the twist before going into this, and I won't say it, but definitely check out.
No, say it for me.
And once again, I'm like, you can't beat this Spider-Man. This kid, that guy Tom, what's his name? Tom.
I don't know his name. I can
perfect Spider-Man. He's still a kid.
Yeah,
he's still a kid.
Well, that brings us to the meat and potatoes of the show.
The meat and the potatoes.
The M's and the P's. And speaking of nostalgia, this is a fun idea that we had this week. It's 2019. We thought a fun thing to do would be to do a 20 years later look back at what I think a lot of people our age take for granted as one of the greatest years in cinema.
Well, you came across something online about this, right?
Yeah.
That it was, a lot of people realized 20 years down the road, like, oh my God, 99 was an amazing year for movies.
So we're going to do a look back in the year 1999 in movies, and it's really, you forget what a fascinating and brilliant and maybe even groundbreaking year it was.
And you know what's so funny about that is you're right before the millennium. So you wonder did that just happen because things are changing and technology's changing and they're worried about Y2K, so they're trying to put out... Wait, these movies out for Y2K? Y2K will kill us all.
Before the zeros and ones come alive.
Yeah, before the zeros and ones come out of the computers. Before my original birthday kills me.
Remember how gullible we were? We're like, the computers won't be able to handle 1999 into 2000.
Yeah, but there was a real concern.
It was like things are going to go bananas.
And then there was a whole portion of, I think, coders that were like, "You're fine."
Yeah, exactly. We just we were just so naive to it. Where were you 1999 into 2000, New Year's Eve?
I don't even. I remember September 11th. I remember.
Yeah.
Like, it's yesterday. That I don't know. I think we just did New Year's stuff. We definitely weren't preparing.
I was on an Indian reservation in Florida.
Were you really?
Yeah, I was seeing fish.
Just in case something happened. You're like, I get to see fish, and also
I'm going back with the natives.
We're starting over. I'm just gonna join them.
I'm going down to the Okefenokee. The only thing that's gonna last is the Indians and Mickey Mouse.
What would your Indian name be?
Oh, I think there was a way of. That would be fun. He eats too much.
Not so tenderfoot.
You, Gingerbeard.
Gingerbeard. Yeah, Gingerbeard, get over here. Drinks too much.
One who always wears black t-shirt. That's a little wordy for a name. But
what would my Indian name? What would my Native American name? Not my Indian name. My Native American. If we were there, if I was with you, finally, it's almost like Wedding Crashers, where you just crash these Indian reservations, these American Indian reservations, Native American reservations.
This is my friend, drunk again.
Drunk again. This is my friend, no vegetables. I wonder if you could pull that off. Like 99 hits, Y2K is a real thing, and then those reservations would do great. Well, actually, no, they had electricity and stuff, so it's like, at that point, everybody would have been screwed. Except
we
for
weren't
Amish.
far enough off the grid though, where no cell. I mean, this was really. I didn't even have a cell phone yet, but like. We had no idea what was happening. We were in a concert literally in the middle of an Indian reservation, and you could have told us anything. The concert went on, and electricity, we were like, this thing seemed fine.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
You would have
it wasn't like we were in direct contact like you are now.
There would have been a Paul Revere situation. Somebody would have rode up on a horse and be like, the world's ended! Hey, boys! Get your asses back to the civilization! Or don't bother.
Super fun time.
But who would have us by the balls is the Amish.
Maybe a step ahead.
They'd have everything down.
Yeah. They seem like friendly people. I think they'd be willing to teach.
I think they would. But then you have to bow down to their God.
Who is their God?
God, right? The Christian God.
Okay, all right.
I think they're like it's a form of Christian, like a Mennonite God or something. Okay.
So we found a kind of top 50 list of movies. We're not going to have to go through every single one.
We can go through it fast.
We can really cruise through it fast because some of I definitely haven't seen them all. So we'll go 50 to 1 because again, this is not our opinion. This is not our rankings. This is just, and this is also an arbitrary list. I don't even remember where I got it from. I pulled it off the internet.
It's actually a pretty detailed list.
I have some issues with it in terms of where things are. But let's cruise through it.
So this is an R rating.
So 1999 year in cinema. I was a happy 20-year-old going to the movies a lot. In college,
here.
I would go to the movies all the time.
I would
so
go to the movies
a
a bunch.
I have seen a lot of these just because that's all I used to do.
Well, I'll tell you, Straight Story I've never heard of.
But it's
made by David Lynch, who I never have been a fan of.
We both don't really love.
And I have a reason for it because I think a lot of it's phony baloney.
Yeah.
I think the act of David Lynch is phony. And the reason why is because he was in an interview once. I don't know if I ever brought this up on the podcast. He was in an interview once with a TV reporter, and they asked him when Mulholland Drive came out. That's when it came out, and so it was right around this time. So it fits in. And they said, "What were you thinking when you were doing this scene?" And then he started describing what the symbolism was for the scene, and he goes, "Well, what I was thinking was with the girl, and then he mentioned a detail, and the reporter goes, "Wait, what do you mean there was no?" And he goes, "Oh, aren't you talking about?" The scene, and she goes, no, the other one, and she describes it, and he goes, oh, I don't know what I was talking. I don't know what I was thinking.
Gotcha.
About. And I'm like, fuck you, buddy. If you're gonna be the auteur and you're gonna be the weird guy and you're weird David Lynch, you better have some sort of different planetary reason for everything that you do in those movies.
Yeah.
Even if it's a quick explanation. So screw you. That's what annoyed me about that. So that's my quick reason why I just don't care for it. That's what I'm saying. Some of it can't be cool. Like Twin Peaks can be kind of cool.
I'm with you on David Lynch. I agree.
Yeah. 49, Bowfinger, What'd you think of both?
Okay.
Were you a fan? It was okay.
Yeah,
just
fine.
okay. It was like one of those like late Eddie Murphy movies where I was like,
and I'll always give Steve Martin a shot.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Steve Martin, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Girl Interrupted, I actually never saw.
I never saw it either. If I'm thinking right, was this one of Angelina Jolie's slingshots into like what she was about to become?
I think so. She was. This kind of made her famous. I didn't see it, but Crucial Entry, sad teenage girl canon.
Yeah,
because I think it's 99, so Angelina Jolie was probably in her mid 20s, late 20s.
Yeah.
So I remember. I think this was like almost like an anthem for sad girls.
Well, you'll see a lot of
that
themes, and especially because we can just jump right past. The next one they have is Pokemon, the first movie.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that Pokemon's been around for that long.
Yeah, right. So what I was going to get to is at 46, they have The Best Man, which is, this was when Julia Roberts was just banging on all cylinders on those rom-coms.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's not her. She's not in that.
No, but I mean...
that's a black... Isn't that a black movie? The Best Man? Is that
yes,
Taye
you're
Diggs?
right. I'm thinking of...
You're thinking of My Best Friend's Wedding. Right?
Absolutely thinking of
that. This is with
like
not Taye Diggs, maybe Taye Diggs and those guys. But you're not wrong.
Those guys.
You thought it was, all those black guys. And but you're not wrong though, because that was probably
the mid to late 90s
to those all the wedding movies.
October Sky, I think was Jake Gyllenhaal's kind of introduction into the world.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't really remember it that much.
I think it was known as like a decent movie. And then I remember I saw it once, and I remember thinking I wasn't like that blown away by it.
Bringing Out the Dead, the next one, I don't remember at all.
Bringing Out the Dead is Martin Scorsese. I saw it in the theaters. I remember when I was in my 1999, at that point I was 23, 22, 21, whatever, I was 21. So my want to be a filmmaker brain at that point, I was like, it's Scorsese. It doesn't matter. It's cool no matter what. If you watch it, it doesn't hold up. It's not the greatest, but it's Paul Schrader. It's the guy who wrote Taxi Driver.
Yep.
So it's gritty. You can see where the Taxi Driver influence is, and you can see where the writing is very Taxi Driver-ish. You want it to be better than it is.
Right.
And also, it's good. It's great cast. It's Nicolas Cage, John Goodman, Patricia Arquette, a lot of, I'm missing people too. I think Luis Guzman's in it. It has all the elements to be great without actually being great. Right. This could have gone either way. It could have gone either way.
Yeah.
That's 100%.
I'm surprised this next one is as low as it is on here.
On their list, if this is a ranking, I would have put this way higher for this year.
Which is Galaxy Quest.
It's also, what a Galaxy Quest sleeper, major, funny, unbelievable movie.
That's why I'm saying, I agree.
Apparently, I think it started out, Galaxy Quest, from off the top of my head, it was going to be a straight up Star Trek rip-off movie. And then they changed
originally
it.
Harold Ramis was originally supposed to direct it, but he was just like, coming off Analyze This.
But that was probably still a comedy, though, right? It was still a comedy?
Yeah.
No, I heard that it was going to be a real action movie, a real sci-fi movie originally. And then they switched it and made it tongue-in-cheek.
That's great. Because they
such a
really
smart idea.
It's
such a good movie.
It really is. It's worth... And it was one I poo-pooed at the time. Because it just wasn't of my sense of humor.
Nobody knew anything about it, yeah.
And it did just kind of seem like a corny... take on that genre.
You kind of sleep on it, you know?
The Mummy is The Mummy. What do you want? It's basically a dumbed down Indiana Jones.
It makes me miss Brendan Fraser. What happened to him? Did he just start drinking or something? What happened?
I don't know.
He was on...
So
actually,
great.
I just saw him. I'm lying. I saw him on something. Busy Phillips is? I guess she has an internet talk show. Uh-huh. And she had what's her name? Judd Apatow's wife on. And apparently when Judd Apatow was making... when Brendan Fraser was making George of the Jungle with Judd Apatow's wife, Leslie Mann, sorry, she had a crush on him. Ooh. So the whole big story was her having a crush. And then they bring out Brendan Fraser with flowers, and he's hanging out, and he kind of just looks like a guy who's might have been drinking for the past few years. But he's not fatter than he was, but he's older now. So it's like I think he just kind of aged out. I think he was like a good-looking leading man kind of guy, a little bit like silly and goofy and innocent, and then that just went away for some reason.
Huh. We can cruise through, I think...
Ghost Dog. Are you
Ghost
not
Dog,
a big
Samurai.
You a Jim Jarmusch guy?
Not really a big
Smoke,
Jerry.
I don't mind. I think it's a cool little indie movie. Ghost Dog I never saw. There's a new zombie one that he's supposed to have out. Jim Jarmusch, and it did not get good reviews.
Which had a great cast. It was Adam Driver and Bill Murray.
Everybody in that freaking movie.
I even loved the way Adam Driver said zombies. Bill Murray would be like, what? He'd go, ghouls. It was a really funny read. The way Adam
Driver's super
really
funny.
Good. Ghouls.
Did you ever see the sketch when he did SNL?
It
was Undercover Boss, but as the Star Wars, who he plays in Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
Darth
something.
Sidious, whatever it is. Not Sidious, whatever his name is. So Ghost Dog, I don't know too much about.
Superstar is a shitty movie. It has great talent in it, but just
we had it on our list of original SNL properties.
Correct. It has Will Ferrell and it has Molly Shannon, who are both phenomenal, but it's just a sketch that could have and should have stayed a sketch.
And to be honest, these first 6 or 8, whatever, I'm not blown away yet.
No, but you could just see
it's shaping
where
up.
the year is going. You're going, oh yeah, that movie. Oh yeah, that movie. And it's just for all of them to be made in one calendar year is just kind of crazy.
That's crazy.
What I was getting to before, Runaway Bride. This kicks off Julia Lewis's. Julia Lewis. Julia Roberts. Superstardom of rom-com movies. She has Runaway Bride, and then we'll get to some others. Notting Hill.
4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Is
that her? Yeah, right?
She was just like, it was what she was meant to do.
She was killing it. Yeah.
After Pretty Woman. Oh, by the way, if you haven't been watching already, CNN has a show on Sunday nights just called The Movies.
It's awesome.
And they first did 80s and they first did 90s. They stole our idea. Basically, they're doing the decades, but they're doing it like Talking Heads, and they're not, they're jumping all around.
Yeah.
But it's fun to go back and look and watch.
I like watching those shows, but I sometimes get annoyed because you want them to spend more time on certain things.
Totally, they gloss over a lot.
Because when they did the TV one, they did Seinfeld, and I was like, no, spend more time on Seinfeld.
Yeah, exactly. We'll spend more time on Seinfeld.
Exactly.
Number 38, The Limey. I don't remember it. I know it's Steven Soderbergh.
Yeah, The Limey I never watched because I remember people saying that it was really good, but it was really long. It was really slow.
All About My Mother. I don't remember that one. I guess it was one of Pedro Almodovar.
Oh wow!
His
really?
Early stuff.
Oh yeah. I remember the name. Never saw the movie.
I think that might have been Penelope Cruz kind of breaking out too. Because then I think she made Blow in that era. That was like more 2000.
No, Blow was 2000, right?
2001-ish, 2002-ish.
So yeah, she became... I was watching my YouTube, a thing about the ending of Vanilla Sky last night. How you interpret it.
Number 36, Analyze This.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Funny movie. Not the best Robert De Niro comedy. We all know what the best Robert De Niro comedy is.
King of Comedy?
Midnight Run, baby.
Midnight Run, I always forget.
Him and Charles Grodin.
I guess King of Comedy is not even really a true comedy.
King of Comedy is more like uncomfortable. But it's super funny. But it's like, some of it's not meant to be funny.
It's funny, though, too, because Analyze This and Sopranos debuted the same year in 1999. So it's just kind of funny how that... mafioso stereotype
where it's
kind of just came into the forefront of pop culture.
You know what I just thought of? Just what I was saying, we were joking around about Y2K. You know what else was happening around this time or right before it? All those trials were happening for those fucking guys, those big mafia guys. So that puts it in the forefront, right? And secondly, it kind of made it okay to make fun of the mafia because, like, what are you going to do? You're in jail. Like, what do you...
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
did it always make you curious, like, how, like, Henry Hill would come out, he'd do all these talking head shows
and never get killed?
Go out to Guy. How are you out in the open like this?
Because it's a lot of bullshit. It's a lot of posturing. He'd have guys people would call the Stern Show all the time.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm going to kill you, rat. And he's like, yeah. Because he knows.
Right.
Either that because he had enough people. Also, I think by the time that the real people that were involved with what he was doing,
right,
all of them were dead.
Yeah.
And nobody cared anymore. It didn't matter. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
But the people who call the radio shows or say, I'm going to kill you, are just blowhard pizzeria owners in Long Island, New York.
The next movie on the list is a movie called The Wood, which I do not know at all.
I don't know at all.
The next one is The Green Mile.
This is the first one that I was like, oh, this is heavy duty. This is a movie that you just cry at.
Yeah, I never, really took to the Green Mile because it was coming off.
It's not one of my favorites, but it's upsetting.
You're like, you have a similar movie that knocks it out of the park with Shawshank that was only 5 years earlier, and it just kind of, I know it's different.
But it's good. It's not. Well, they're not a follow up. Is this?
But it is Stephen King. You know.
But is this Frank Darabont? He did this as well, right?
I don't know.
Frank Darabont.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think he directed it. Yeah, he did. Directed by Frank Darabont. Yes. So I think that's why they compared it so much to Shawshank, which is why it probably got swept under the rug a little bit because Shawshank.
Yeah, I mean,
just murdered
Tom
this.
Hanks. You know, is always gonna.
But it is good. It's just very sad.
Sure, which I'm fine with. From sad to bad, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have no interest in this movie.
Why isn't this? Yeah. It's. I guess it was one of those.
I don't want your life.
90s were great for that.
Varsity Blues.
I'll say this. The teenage movie kind of had a little bit of a comeback from. We all know the great teenage movies of the 80s, the John Hughes, the Ferrises, and the Brat Pack, and all that stuff. Classics. It did have a little bit of a resurgence, not nearly on the level of those movies with American Pie, movies like Varsity Blues, which we'll talk about American Pie later, but like
and there was
10
also
Things I Hate About You, and like those kind of movies did kind of come
comedies.
back.
She's All That.
So
Miramax did it, and then Dimension, which is the Miramax sister company, was doing all the horror ones. So they were doing The Faculty, they were doing stuff like that, The Skulls, and like these teen or college age horror movies, but they weren't really horror movies because I'll watch those no problem.
Varsity Blues had the James Van Der Beek breakout after Dawson's, and sports, teen, high school, girls, college. What are you going to do? Wrap it up.
Yeah, exactly. yeah. And also, it's one of those things where I always thought this: the guys who are from Texas are the ones that really appreciate the shows like this, the pressure of football, high school football shows. We're from the East Coast. We don't.
Yeah.
Football was a really big deal in my high school.
Sure, I can appreciate the competitive nature.
But they treat it out there like the NFL, so that's why these movies are such high stakes. But I just look like it's a high school teeny movie.
I actually prefer Friday Night Lights as a football movie to its TV show.
Yeah, I think this is like,
if you want a great look at like Texas football, that's probably way more. Definitely way more realistic.
Yeah, exactly. Let's keep going.
I'm interested to see what you think about this next one, Dogma.
I think that it does. If I watched it now, I'm sure it wouldn't hold up.
I agree.
We were talking about Kevin Smith on Eli Sayers' podcast. He does like the roast ghost, where they roast everything, and they were roasting Kevin Smith. Yeah, it's Kevin Smith. It's one of those things where it's
his love letter to how he feels about religion.
But it's also like this. It's like this mouth. I hate to say mouth diarrhea, but like his scripts really are packed with too many words.
Yeah,
and it's one of these things where it's like the script version of The Guy Who's Always On. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you know what I mean?
That is so perfectly put.
Even the scene that's supposed to be cool when Matt Damon and Ben Affleck go into the boardroom, and then around the table. It's supposed to be Disney. I think it's supposed to be Disney.
Yeah.
And because it's Moo the Cow, whatever it is. And even everybody except for the woman in the room has done like horrific things. And I'm like, first off, I don't think you'd have across the board everybody had some like earth shattering things they've done.
Yeah.
And secondly, what he's doing to make fun of them, it's like they're good actors, they kind of pull it off, but it's very corny to me. It's very, very corny.
It does not hold up at all.
Does not hold up at all.
And it's just verbose.
So I think when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is cool. It's Kevin Smith." I know Kevin Smith.
Same way back
I like
then.
Mallrats.
But I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Selma Hayek.
Oh, come on.
Hachi Machi.
Hachi Machi.
Yama. Another kind of, I guess not really similar in any way, but this was a movie that I enjoyed, and I still do enjoy.
I think this is
and I'm not a huge
underrated
guy.
Either am I.
Summer Sam.
Summer Sam is not as bad as people think it is.
Right.
It's really not. And it's also the only thing I think with Summer Sam that happened is they couldn't decide if it was about Sam.
Sure.
What's his name? Or David? Berkowitz?
Yeah.
But it was also there's a lot of stuff that was set.
I took over his mail route.
Yeah.
Newman takes over his mail route.
There's the reference. He did it. But they couldn't decide if they were about that or the setting was that, because everybody was scared of it during the whole movie, but then they were like intertwining, I think, way too many plots.
And I think that's what Spike Lee kind of does too much sometimes.
There's Spike Lee movies I like, but I'm not even a huge Spike Lee fan.
Yeah, me neither. I love 25th Hour.
I love the Inside Man. I love
Do the Right Thing is great.
Inside Man, not a fan.
I'm not as familiar with it as the other ones.
Watch it again. It's great.
Okay. She's All That. Number 30, which is...
it was too old for it. It was too teeny bop girl for me. I think I saw it in pieces over time.
But like I said, it's in that like kind of teen resurgent movies where it's just kind of cookie cutter.
Yeah. Really just to fill the void of, whatever it is.
It's the classic, she's ugly. We can turn her into a prom queen, kind of, she really is hot this whole time. What were we thinking?
Yeah, this became the trope of she's this amazing looking girl that just has glasses on.
I know. And they took her hair's just in a ponytail the whole time.
That was the whole Freddie Prinze thing.
Yeah.
Where it was like, her hair was in a ponytail, and she had dirty overalls on and some glasses. And the minute they put her in a dress, they were like, "Oh my god, we didn't know you were hot." It's like, I did.
Yeah, they're cartoonishly jaws dropped.
I was 20, and I was like, "She's smoking hot." Immediately, every guy watching this movie.
Yeah,
that's the thing. It kind of gives you an insight to girls and guys, because I'm sure girls are like, "Yeah, they don't know. They don't know unless you really just doll yourself up."
Okay, so at number 29, Deep Blue Sea, which is kind of a, it's tongue-in-cheek. Me, I love a shark movie.
Kind of like, I think ever since you had Jaws, which is my friend Andy's favorite movie of all time. You can look into these, even though, nothing will compare to that movie, but they keep trying. They keep trying to just tap into the love that you have for Jaws.
And they get me every time. I go, genetically engineered shark. It's just like, it's like what we just saw with the Meg. It's got a soft spot in my heart for it.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you're every 10
Samuel
years,
Jackson.
Every 5 years, you're going to have something similar to that.
Samuel's going to say something fun.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Yeah. and then Deep Blue Sea, I think, is what brought about Snakes on a Plane, because after that, everything became, Samuel, can you just deal with animals every movie? Can we just throw an animal at you every movie?
Now, number 28, they have Jawbreaker. I don't remember it at all.
I saw this, but I don't remember it at all. I saw it.
I know it had Rose McGowan, and I just can't picture it. Where did she go, by the way? What a great! She had the whole Scream, and then she had like this
Harvey Weinstein thing. She was getting raped.
Yeah, I guess if you want to believe her. I'm kidding, of course. Don't fucking sue me.
Yes,
don't call in.
Don't sue the podcast. We have no funds for the podcast.
Well, which leads into a kind of a very controversial movie at the time. Not so much anymore. If it were made today, I don't think people would blink at it twice.
No,
which is.
But I think because of this, because it kind of got in the way. Boys Don't Cry.
Boys Don't Cry.
And this was about the
trans woman, who goes. It's based on a true story. This actually did happen, where she kind of fooled I don't know where it took place. Let's just say Midwestern town, and they ended up raping and killing her.
Yeah,
him. I never know the pronoun to go with anymore today.
Yeah, this was like heavy duty when it came out.
Yeah, I remember I was in college.
Did it win Best Picture?
I don't think it won Best Picture.
It was nominated.
I don't even know if she won Best Actress. I should have printed out for next week. We're doing the second half next week, so we're going to leave it with a little bit of a cliffhanger. We're going to do the top 25 of what they think. We will obviously argue about it next week's episode, but we'll make sure to bring in the Oscar winners to see who got the trophies for 99 next week's episode. So stay tuned for that. But yeah,
we'll cross reference.
Yes, we will, and I don't. Yeah, like I said, at the time, it was a controversial, dramatic film. I had to watch it for a college class. They were like, write a paper. This is,
You wrote it off, Boys Don't Cry?
Yeah, so now, like I said again, I don't think people would really go, oh, yeah, okay, cool. Good. It would just be a biopic now, I think,
Yeah, it's thrown into the lexicon enough.
Now, the next one, when I first saw this list, I thought it would be much higher, because it is the Best Picture winner. Mm-hmm. If you haven't figured it out by now, it's American Beauty.
I told you. I said on the podcast.
But it does not hold up.
Now you're saying that?
I think
we talked about
great
this.
movie.
We talked about this in the podcast, I think.
I love the movie.
American Beauty is what we're talking about. But this is 26 on this list.
He has 26 on this list.
Now, I like this movie.
He can poke a lot of holes. I still love it.
I should rewatch it. I'll tell you this much: there's been multiple articles about how it doesn't hold up.
I think a lot of that is Kevin Spacey hate after his whole.
I think the article that I read, I think was at the infancy of that or before that.
Yeah.
Now it's definitely Kevin Spacey hate. Like
Well,
they have a point. It's like
I think he just got dropped. The prosecution is not prosecuting him.
Yeah. I think what happened was one of the things got dropped and something else got picked up, and he'll be screwed for that. He had two different instances, and one of them's way stronger than the other one.
But I mean, let's be honest. He is a great actor.
He's fantastic.
Despite if you separate the art from the artists, whatever's. When it came out, I loved it. I thought it was the best picture of the year. The ending will still make me bawl. Like his little voiceover when he's panning and talking about how you see your whole life is when he's like, it's not like that at all. It's one long drawn out, and he says his daughter's name twice, which is I've always wanted to know if that was in the script or if that was his acting choice.
Yeah.
Where what's her name though?
Janie.
He goes Janie and Janie. It makes me bawl thinking of
Yeah. No, it's really
beautiful, and it was Sam
actor.
Mendes, and it was like coming off that 6 Feet Under kind of hotness. And it's a very Sam Mendes movie, but
that's what I'm saying. It was a very
if you go back and it's a lot of it just seems like at the time and the place that's perfect.
That's what it was. It was a lot of coming of age. It was even like when a lot of these movies were becoming bigger. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like where it was like it kind of something like this was never really made before. Where it was like this weird like midlife crisis style movie where
it was. Now there's tons of movies. Weed, just quits his. Yeah, it was
there's
great.
There's tons of movies now you could compare to this movie. So I think does it hold up? Probably not. But when you saw it, it made sense for the time.
Yeah, I mean Annette Bening. What a performance.
Yeah,
I don't remember if she won. We'll go over this next week, but with the winners. But I remember her being just. It kind of opened my eyes up to who Annette Bening was. I didn't really was aware of her career before, and I was like, "Oh, she is a fucking."
It's probably the
force.
best thing she's done. Yeah, just like it happens a lot with some actresses.
Absolutely,
that's like Kate Winslet when Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I didn't know much about her before that.
Yeah, you just knew Titanic.
Exactly. So I think that being 26, I think is whatever this list is probably a reaction to people thinking it's shitty now, and that just happens sometimes.
Yeah. So I think we'll go over it. It'll be interesting next week to get to the top 25 in this person's opinion. We'll obviously make our selections, and we'll go over the Oscar winners, see what the judges thought of who was deserving of the awards that year, and it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I love a good list.
You gotta love a list. We love a list on this show. We go down the line.
We love a bracket. We love a list.
Little tiny conversations on a list.
We have a bracket in store for you next in a couple months that's going to blow your mind. I mean,
it'll be amazing.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. So, Shawnee, where can we find you? You
can find me on Instagram and Twitter at SeanyTime. That's SeanyTime. The day that this comes out, if you're not doing anything on Friday night, I'll be at the Bolton Center in Bayshore, Long Island.
Nice.
And then next on Tuesday, I'll be at Philly at Helium. Ooh. So come check that out. Say you're a Defender. Come up to me. Say hello. Yes, we'll have a beer. We'll have a shot or something. We'll hang out. It'll be a blast.
Have some potatoes.
And have some meats and the potatoes. Come up and say meats and potatoes. But you have to say the potatoes part.
Yeah, you got to
not potatoes. Potatoes.
Angelina.
How about you, Andy?
You can find me, as always, at Andy Fiore on all social media. That is also my website, andyfiore.com. I am away this weekend on a little excursion for my friend's bachelor party up in Burlington, Vermont. I was actually going to look and see if I could do some spots up there, but the club is actually doing like a weird thing this weekend. So don't even bother. I'm at the Cellar next week. I got some on-the-road dates coming up in the fall, which will be really fun. Omaha, Funny Bone. I got Port Washington and Long Island, a bunch of stuff. So as always, you can go to my website and check out all my dates there. You can listen to my radio show every Thursday live at 4 p.m. SiriusXM, The Raw Report on Raw Dog 99. And always, I'm glad it felt good to be back, man.
It sure did.
Every time you just take, even though it was like 1 week off, it just feels like some,
It feels weird.
Because I always miss you. I miss yelling and, I say Seinfeld quotes to my mom. She's going, what are you saying? Like, God damn it. I need Shawnee.
It's always a blast.
I need Shawnee.
All right, well, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening, and we love you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.